Well, last week, prominent creators of Jewish content on TikTok wrote a public letter that began, simply put, TikTok lacks critical safety features to protect Jewish content creators and the broader Jewish community, leaving us in digital and physical danger. Now, some of the signatories to that letter also joined with other Jewish figures in entertainment and show business, including the actors Sacha Baron Cohen and Deborah Messing, in a phone call last week in which they expressed those concerns directly to senior TikTok executives. Now, one of those is Miriam Azagui, whose clips depicting her life as an Orthodox Jewish nurse, wife, and mother in Brooklyn have earned her nearly 2 million followers on TikTok. And she joins us now from New York. Miriam, thank you for joining us again. I did speak to you earlier about your achievement on TikTok. Now I have to ask you about a bit of the darker side of that. Why did you decide to both write that letter and join that conversation that we mentioned with senior TikTok executives? I mean, to sign that letter, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on. I think it's a really important discussion to have and to open up and discuss, because if we don't talk about it, there isn't going to be any change. And ultimately, this type of hatred towards Jewish people will result in people losing their lives. History will repeat itself, and we don't want that to happen. So we have to speak up about it, and we have to make a change. And that started with us contacting TikTok, writing the letter, and hopefully we will see that some change is implemented.
Well, tell us about that conversation, which was a private conversation. You spoke with really the top people like TikTok, at least in the U.S. What was your impression about how seriously they were taking it and implementing some of the changes you suggested in that letter?
So some of the changes that we suggested, they already were aware about, but we also brought up some topics that they had no idea about, and they told us and they thanked us for bringing up these topics. I think it's yet to be seen whether or not they're going to be implemented, because they need to go back and they need to discuss that within TikTok. So they heard us, they heard our concerns, and I think talking about it in the media and places outside of TikTok is going to push them further to make those changes.
Right, that we should mention these issues come up on other social media platforms, but I think especially the incident with the Osama bin Laden letter really raised it on that platform. There is a kind of, I don't know if you want to call it an irony here, Miriam. On one hand, TikTok has been able to be a vehicle for many of content creators that have created or presented very positive Jewish content on Jewish life to people who would otherwise never be exposed to it. And you're an example of it. On your content, you discuss being an Orthodox Jew and the meaning it's given to your life. It's been very positive. I said almost 2 million followers. On the other hand, you see the dark side of TikTok. Does that leave you yourself somewhat conflicted about the platform?
It does. And I had a moment where I stepped back and thought, do I feel safe to continue sharing? And ultimately, I am going to, because if I don't, I am a voice that has been silenced due to fear and anti-Semitism. And I will not let that happen, because I'm here to spread love and light and to educate about my life as an Orthodox Jew. And I think my voice is important. And again, I'm not going to let them silence me because of their hatred towards Jewish people.
All right. I just have to ask you, because you did mention that letter talked about not just digital, but physical danger. And you are part of that Orthodox Jewish community in New York that is visibly in their external appearance identifiably Jewish, certainly to some members of the public, which puts it more at risk. How have you and the members of your community felt for example, even in the streets of New York or Brooklyn since October 7th? Do you feel that raised level of risk?
Yeah, there's definitely been an increase in security around Jewish schools, as well as shuls, synagogues. there's an increase in presence of security, and there's a reason behind that, unfortunately. But my thoughts and prayers are with everybody, no matter where they are in the world, that they should continue and stay safe.
All right. All right, Miriam Izzagui, for those who don't know and want to look at some positive Jewish content on TikTok, they can go to your account there, and we'll have to see if TikTok takes a heed to some of the warnings that you and the other content creators have made. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you for joining us again on I-24 News.
Thank you so much.